who had such an illustrious career with Fenerbahce Istanbul, of course, and Yorgos Papagiannis on his civvies over on the sidelines. So there, that victory that evened up the season series between Paris Basketball and EA7 Emporio Armani Milan, and because of the margin of victory, Paris taken the season tiebreaker. This one of 5 games taking place across the continent tonight. And they're getting underway at exactly the same time at the Peace and Friendship Stadium in the port city of Piraeus. Here's a look at the standings then. That orange Q alongside Olympiacos Piraeus, denoting that they have progressed through to the postseason. When home court advantage is secured, it will turn purple. There on the left-hand side, a quick rundown of what you have to do to get into the postseason. AS Monaco still in the hunt for a top 4 finish and thereby home court advantage. But you can see the amount of red L's in those last 5 fixtures, denoting AS Monaco's somewhat inconsistent form, whereas Fenerbahce Istanbul, 3 straight wins, including 4 of their last 5, and in round 29, a comfortable victory by a double-digit margin over LDLC Asvel Villeurbanne. So there then, a look at the right lineup. My name's Ronald McIntosh. I'll be your lead commentator for this round 30 fixture, and I'm delighted to say that joining us to provide co-commentary and expert insightful analysis is former Euroleague player Martin Henlin. And Martin, given the contrasting runs of form and that 30-point beatdown Fenerbahce suffered at home, where do you see the balance of power or momentum lies in this one?
I think you can throw the motivation out the window as we look at the key players between these two teams. You know, Fenerbahce have been one of the 2 hottest teams in the Euroleague over the last 10 games. And you've got the class players like Hayes Davis, who just cruises along. As he says, he's personally on a different level to everybody else. So you have to get to his standard. So this is one of the benefits that Fener has. They've got consistency, they've got veteran leadership. Marko Guduric, I think, is the unsung hero of this team, because when they had the injury at the point guard, Wilbekin going down and Baldwin going down, he's the one who stepped up. Slow as ice water, but handled all the pressure at the point position. So to your point about which team has the balance, you know, Fener can talk about, well, we got smashed by 30 points earlier this season. Don't forget, the round 5 of the playoffs last season, it was the first time a road team had ever won. And that was Fenerbahce broke Monaco hearts. That hurts more than a regular season loss, that's for sure.
79-80 in overtime. And as Martin has alluded to, made history, did Fenerbahce Istanbul, by becoming the first ever team to win a Game 5 on the road. There a look at the roster for the icon, that is Vasilis Spanoulis, in his first head coaching position.
Got smoked. If Okobo plays well, Monaco will have more chance of success, because we know Mike James is there. Same thing with Wade Baldwin. If he stays out of foul trouble and doesn't get arguing the referees, given the production of the likes of Hayes Davis, you know it's good things are going to happen.
So Monaco, the highest scoring team. Fenerbahce shoot the basketball more effectively from downtown. They're the 3rd best free throw shooting team in the league in case things get hot. And AS Monaco do such an outstanding job of taking care of the basketball, committing just 10.8 turnovers per game, 2nd fewest in the league.
Yeah, but also excellent rim protection they've got in terms of one of the better shot blocking teams in the league. Fener likes to get to the basket. And just again, to that point about which team's got the balance, Fener 8-2 in their last 10 games, 6-4, Monaco 4-6. but between the 4th place and the 14th place in the standings, no team is better than 500. They're all the same.
So there a look at the all-time heads-to-head coaching record between these EuroLeague icons. What a matchup it promises to be in terms of battle of wits on the sideline. So Fenerbahce making their way out onto the floor here at the Salle Gaston Médecin. So many players capable of filling it up from the perimeter. No Ken Birch for coach Runas Jasikavičius tonight, who hasn't traveled with the team. And again, in a race that is so incredibly congested in the battle for home court advantage and a top 4 finish, the results can have a significant bearing on the standings once the game is concluded. So now the highlight reel up on the Jumbotron, high above the center court here at the Salle Gaston Médecin, as the anticipation continues to build ahead of the opening tip of this round 30 fixture. AS Monaco desperate to get back to winning ways and maintain their contention for a top 4 finish and thereby secure home court advantage.
Yeah, and I think more motivation for Monaco is the way they lost the last game away to Maccabi. They were leading by 6 points with a minute and a half left, and managed to, and Coach Manula said, we couldn't get one defensive stop at the end of the game. So we've got to stand up and show our personality. No better way to do that than against one of the best and most consistent teams in the league this season. And just one point about the roster. You mentioned that Ken Birch stayed at home. You know, Coach Spanoulis has made it clear, if anything, he's trying to go more agile with his big men. So with Daniel Tice in the lineup, and you know, we've already mentioned Mam Jaite, but then you've got the likes of Papagiannis, who the coach's decision not playing. That's a big call for Monaco.
So Elia Kobo out onto the floor. Again, in that 30-point victory, Coach Spanoulis was lauding the defensive effort that the home team produced. They said that when the result was a foregone conclusion, he still had players sprinting back. He still had Mike James hitting the deck to knock the ball away and prevent a basket for Fenerbahce, even though the result was very much in the book. So looking for that type of intensity, that type of focus and consistency tonight. How many times did Coach Spanoulis use the word consistency in his pre-game interview? Monaco know the type of basketball that they want to play, but again, can they execute that type of philosophy on a consistent basis?
Well, the thing is, Ron, the margin between victory and defeat is very fine at this level. As I said, there is such a bun fight to get into the top 10. You know, for Fenerbahce, they've already assured been in the top 10. They're trying to get that top 6 Q in the standings. Monaco, they are probably one of the best 4 teams in the league under the balance over the season, but it's not reflected in the one-loss standings. That's the whole reason why you hear Coach Jasikevičius saying that this is a cup final for Monaco. 5 games left in the regular season. Every game has got more pressure on it than the last.
And to your point, Martin, about just how tight things are in this race for the postseason, as 2 all-time greats sharing a warm embrace of respect at half court.
And don't forget, they played together. They won a championship together.
Indeed.
Do you think Saras is upset that now that Spanoulis got the MVP when they won the championship in 2009? This is my point about revenge. It only lasts for so long. Eventually you don't care. Just win tonight.
So there's a look at the starting 5. It's McCollum and Guduric in the backcourt. Bonzi, Colson, Nigel Hayes-Davis and Sertac Shanler, the 3-man front line. But again, to your point, Martin, as to how tight things are, last week in round 29 was the 11th 2-score result that AS Monaco have been involved in, and they're 5 and 6 in those games, just below 500 as we see the starting lineup for the home team.
Yeah, and you look at that roster, and it's to be expected. Daniel Tice with the game-time decision. That was a big acquisition for them in the national team break. You know, he's playing at the 5 position. He makes him a lot more athletic, has started every game he's been here. This will be his fourth, but had an awful fall in that defeat to Maccabi. He's been out with a back injury. So hopefully he can perform to his best, and I think we'll end up with an outstanding game tonight.
So Mr. Carlos Peruga, the crew chief of the officials, taking charge of this one tonight. And again, as we edge ever closer towards the postseason, how much physicality will be permitted as the intensity continues to be dialed up as the teams battle for a top 4 finish and home court advantage in the Turkish Airlines Euroleague. So all calm for the all-time leader in terms of points scored in the Turkish Airlines Euroleague, and what a list that is. His coach not too far behind him in 3rd place, Nando De Colo, Sergio Yui, still getting it done for their respective teams.
Yeah, but the thing about James, of course, look at the games he's played. He's done it in a lot less games than anybody else. That's the whole point about it. So he's a class scorer. Right now, do you think he's walking on that court thinking I'm the all-time leading scorer? No, he's not. He's thinking about what am I going to do. It's the same way that Nigel Hayes-Davies is thinking, I wonder if I'm going to have any teammates tonight, because he had 28 points in that loss, that 30-point blowout. And the thing is, it was 22 points up, you know, in the 4th quarter, and they still stretched the lead. His team were flat as a pancake. It's one of those games that Coach Jaskevicius will just throw that one in the trash and let's not think about it again.
So pre-game pleasantries between the starting 5s and the officials. Of course, all the players are looking for is consistency. I've yet to meet a player who readily accepts a foul call, but they're looking for consistency. What's called at the beginning, call it at the end. And I think the players will be accepting as to whatever calls are made for or against them in terms of outcome and favorability. So Alpha Diallo with a quick check of the bounce of the ball. We are about ready for the start of action in this round 30 fixture as AS Monaco looking to complete their season sweep over Fenerbahce Istanbul, and perhaps more importantly get back onto a winning track after losing 3 of their last 4.
Tempo at the beginning of this game is going to be crucial, Ron. Monaco.
What a first half of basketball. A really solid, suffocating defensive effort in the 2nd quarter by AS Monaco, holding Fenerbahce to just 15. And after 20 minutes of play, we have a halftime score of AS Monaco 47, Fenerbahce Istanbul 43. Well, let's hear from Marko Guduric.
Marko, simply give us your thoughts on that first half.
Yeah, I mean, our defense obviously is not good. We received almost 50 points. We just got to do a better job defensively.
Thank you.
So, Fenerbahce looking to improve their defense, conceding 26 first quarter points and 21 in the second, while they only netted 15. Let's hear from Daniel Tice.
Daniel, you're 4 points ahead. How is it going so far?
Second quarter was way better. First quarter, they scored 28 points. That's way too much for a team for Fenerbahce. Second quarter, we stayed connected on defense. We rebounded better. We were more aggressive on that end, and that's why we got the lead right now.
Thank you very much.
BKT. Experience Abu Dhabi. And Adidas. Official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines Euroleague.
So that's the scene here at halftime at the Salle Gaston Médecin. AS Monaco leading by 4. For the majority of the first quarter, it was Fenerbahce who had the lead, leading by as many as 8 at 16-24 after AS Monaco's only lead came when they opened the scoring on a runner from Mike James. AS Monaco finally regained the lead after a run of 5 straight points by Mike James, put them up 38-37, and Mike James 19 points to lead all scorers, accumulated in just 16 minutes on the floor.
Well, Mike is being the alpha male tonight for Monaco, that's for sure. 19 points. McCollum keeping up for the lead for Fenerbahce. But defensively, Fenerbahce are going to have to make an adjustment to the guards. It's not just James as well. It's Lloyd, 7 points off the bench for him. Who do you slow down? Do you try to stop Mike James and hope nobody else gets going?
Outstanding performer of quarter number one after his 7 first quarter points coming off the bench. We'll find out who the outstanding performer of quarter number 2 is in a few moments' time. Here's Coach Saras.
Coach, what is going to be your main focus point for the second half?
Well, easy points. I mean, they're all over the place. I mean, Mike is involved in everything. He's too comfortable. Transition points, whatever. Our half-court defense is really, really good. Transition points, one-on-one, we blow bys. Everything is bad defensively.
Thank you.
So Coach Runas Jasakaevicius wanting his team to improve their transition defense, shooting the ball beautifully from downtown. But look at their two-point attempts, Martin. Nothing or very little around that defensive semicircle. Lots of mid-range.
Yeah, that's surprising for Fener. Normally they want to get to the basket, but with the likes of McCollum and Guduric, they'll pull up jump shooters.
Coach, what are you asking of your player for the second half?
To play defense like second quarter and to have the same confidence and psychology, even we are up or down on the score, on the game, to play with the same fire and same motivation.
Thank you.
Second quarter points. AS Monaco scoring 21, and it's Mike James named as the outstanding performer of quarter number 2. 8 points and 2 helpers. 8 points. 8 points for his 19-point total to lead all scorers.
One thing for both teams, Ron, as the second half gets underway is good man management by the coaches. Nobody's got more than 2 fouls. So even the likes of McCollum have picked up 2 fouls early in the first period. He's coming into the second half with 2 fouls. So for the coaches, it's almost like a clean slate.
So the second half underway here at the Sal Gaston Beristain. It's Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul with the opening possession. They are trailing by 4. They trailed by as many as titled together in 2009 at Panathinaikos. But here as coaches of AS Monaco and Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul, the two teams combining to produce a magnificent spectacle in this top 4 affair. And after 4 quarters of basketball of the highest order, it is AS Monaco who prevailed by 9 to complete the season sweep over Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul. AS Monaco 91, Fenerbahce Beko Istanbul 82. So a terrific team performance by Coach Vasilis Bernoulis' men. Not everybody put the basketball in the bucket, but my goodness, there was no drop-off in intensity, save for a passage of the third